Hello, and thank you all for joining us this afternoon for the latest ClickStart webinar. As some of you already know, I'm Rachel James from the ClickStart team at the Open University. And ClickStart with the OU programme is part of a nationwide ClickStart training initiative that was developed by the Institute of Coding and funded by Nominet. Now, I can see from the chat that some of you are already enrolled on our courses and are studying them. And these webinars are just a little bit of extra support to help you shape your personal and career development. This afternoon, I'm joined by John Proctor. He's a career coach at GetMyFirstDigitalJob. Now, the ClickStart programme not only gives you the opportunity to study cyber, AI and coding courses, but it also provides a host of career-related course resources like GetMyFirstDigitalJob, which is an online careers hub that has been specifically designed exclusively for your ClickStart learners. So it's my pleasure to hand over to John.
Thank you very much, Rachel. So I will just share my screen and I'll go through some information just about Get My First Digital Job. I'm really happy to be here to talk to you all about this, and hopefully we can have some chats later on, either in maybe coaching sessions or just via email, or just a chat about what you're looking to do with your career. So let me just share my screen and then we will talk through Get My First Digital Job. So talking about a little bit, who are we? First of all, I'd just like to explain that Get My First Digital Job is also part of a company called Get My First Job, which all falls under the bracket of the talent people. So if you hear about the talent people, Get My First Job or Get My First Digital Job, that's all falling under the same umbrella. So we offer you a whole new way to find all different types of career opportunities. So we're talking about apprenticeships, degree apprenticeships, work experience, graduate opportunities, or just normal roles. But we're not just a search tool. We do have a search tool, but we're not just a search tool. So we're going to try to help you connect with employers, colleges, providers, universities, anything really to try and help you get on the right track faster. So we just are really interested in helping you find your new role. So what can we offer as Get My First Digital Job? So we're basically here to try to help you improve your employability skills. So these are going to be the quite general skills which everyone needs in order to be successful in the workplace and to help find jobs. So the first thing is that job search tool. So we've got access to many, many different digital opportunities. At the moment, it's currently sitting around over 1,000 digital roles. That is something that is changed sort of weekly. We get new companies come in, other companies go away for, their roles get filled, so they look to do something else. So just it's something that you can have a look on to our website and you can see what roles are available. We've got really nice learning modules that have been created to be quite simple and easy to manage, but they're going to provide a lot of information to you. These things cover CV writing, interview tips and tricks, how to be successful during an interview, how to be successful during an assessment centre, how to sell yourself to an interviewer. There's also a really interesting one around how to use AI in your recruitment journey, the do's and do nots. So when you've created a profile, all you need to do is just jump into there, go across to the module section, and all of this information will be there for you. These modules maximum take 10, 15, 20 minutes each. They are not mandatory. You do not have to do them. But if you're looking just for a bit of extra information, it might be quite handy for you to just jump on there. We've got tailored coaching support. So I've got myself and a team of 2 other coaches. We are all IAG qualified, and we are here to help you gain employment, gain new skills. So all you need to do, again, is you just need to book a coaching session with one of us. We'll go through how to do that soon, but it's really simple. And once you've done so, we can sit for 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, however long you want to talk. We can talk about what you need to do, some skills you may need to gain, how to change your CV, interview tips and tricks, all of these different things. It's all down to whatever you would like to know. We've got a careers quiz, which we have created internally, which is basically hopefully going to give you a bit of insight on where you may be successful, some limitations you may have that you may want to work on, and it's sort of a general title of what you would like, what you fall under. I think when I did it, it came up as something called the captain. Now, I've never been the captain of anything, but all of the things that it listed and it sort of described me as, a lot of them really did hit the nail on the head for me. So if you do have 5 minutes and you'd like to sort of just have a look at what the computer's going to tell you, jump onto there, have a look at our Pathfinder careers quiz, and it could give you a really insight into how you may learn best or how you may develop best. And then we can also help to arrange encounters with employers. So that could be things like careers days, careers fairs, things where we could give you a one-on-one interview with an employer, with maybe someone we work with or someone you've sourced that you'd like to discuss this with. We can reach out on your behalf and we can help you maybe arrange an interview or something along those lines. So, finding your next opportunity. With Get My First Digital Job, all you need to do is you just need to head over to our website. This little video is playing in the right-hand side, and all you'll need to do is create an account. Now, with an account, you don't actually need to be on a ClickStart at the moment. You can use this if you're no longer on a ClickStart or you haven't joined a ClickStart yet. But as you are all ClickStart learners or recently come onto this shouldn't be a problem. All you need to do is go through, fill in some rudimentary information, which is just going to let us know, what you're searching for, the type of person you are, what sort of skills you'd like to develop. There are some things that we do need you to, just answer yes or no to, just so we have visibility of that. And once you've done that, it will take you through to your profile. When you're on your profile, you just need to go across to the search opportunities function. And then on there, you can use this as a normal job search. So this could, even if you don't use this for anything else, maybe you don't want to do the modules, you don't want coaching sessions, this can still be another place to look for roles. So this is still another place which has at least 1,000 different roles on there. So feel free to jump in there. You can do the normal search function. You can do, within 5 miles of my location, or, national, looking for those remote roles. You can be really specific about what you're looking for. You want to be a data technician. You can type in the words data, you can type in the word technician, and it should hopefully provide you with all that information. If you can't find something on there, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just might not mean that we have access to that role. So feel free to, look elsewhere. We're not precious about it. If you don't find something on our website and you want to look elsewhere, but you still want the support of the coaching sessions, we're still going to offer that to you. So don't worry about, if you can't find it there or you do find something there, just feel free to use us in any fashion you'd like with regards to those coaching sessions or the additional support. So a little bit about who we are currently working with. So we currently have roles for really large names like Microsoft, the Royal Air Force, DHL, Transport for London, and we're coming to the end of a campaign with a company called Schneider Electric. So we will have new campaigns running, really, really often with new clients coming in. Some clients are repeats. So we work with Microsoft a lot. We work with Schneider a lot. So they do like a yearly campaign with us each year. And, Transport for London, they've come in this year, but we are, confident we'll work with them again. So if you see any big names that you want to talk to in there, feel free to reach out. We may be able to, arrange a call with someone from that company or with an employer from that company. So some really nice names that you could possibly gain positions with that job search function. So similarly with the learning modules, once you've created that profile, all you need to do, there's a little tab at the top which goes through your profile eligibility, modules, coaching, events, and applications. Just go across to modules and you will see there our module library. As I said, these are not mandatory. You don't have to do these, but creating a good CV takes 15 minutes to have a look through there, give you a good guideline of what to do for your CV. Interview success, again, 15 minutes. The whole recruitment process, that's a bit longer because it covers, various different things. Transferable skills and using AI intelligence in your job search. We also do have one now called Selling Yourself, which is all about, how to sell yourself to an employer, how to sell yourself during an interview. These modules are really simple, really easy to digest, but they do cover a lot of information in those. So if you just want to jump in, if you've got a spare 15 minutes and you want some more information about how to use AI when you're applying for things, feel free to jump in there. Again, when you're trying to book a coaching session, just as simple. You just go across to the coaching tab. When you click on that coaching tab, it will take you down to an option where you can choose what type of coaching session you like. And first of all, these are not they're not that specific. You can say you want something more information on soft skills, AI use, or anything like that. But if you just book a session with us, even if you just use that general support session, we will help you with whatever we can. So even if you accidentally book a CV one and you want to talk about interviews, it just means we'll just pull up a bit different information. We're not going to send you away and say book a different one. When you click on it, you will just need to pick a date and a time, and that will be automatically booked into either my diary or one of the coaches' diaries. So all you need to do is look for a time slot that is available, and then one of us will be at that coaching session. You should get a reminder 24 hours before and an hour before. Now, if you have any issues or you need to cancel or reschedule, you can do all that through the email that you will receive. And if we, for whatever reason, need to cancel or reschedule, we will either make sure that someone else covers it, or we will be in contact with you in good time to let you know and to arrange a reschedule on that. But during those calls, we've had some really, really good feedback from people when we've been speaking to them during those calls. We can even arrange things like a mock interview. If you are maybe nervous about an upcoming interview, we can create a mock interview, or we can do that with you during one of those calls. But we've had really positive feedback. The people who have joined us on those calls have left feeling that they've got a lot more information and they feel a bit more prepared for their next steps. There's been a big push recently on people looking for information about assessment centres, because we had a big push on the Schneider roles where we have assessment centres coming up for them. So if there's anything you'd like to talk to us about one-on-one, these are not group sessions, these are individual sessions, so you can speak about anything you want to talk about in those, and we will do our best to help you. Our Pathfinder Careers Quiz, as I said, this is something which we've created internally, and what you'll need to do on this quiz, again, is just one of those tabs at the top of your profile. You just go across to it and click into it. There will be various different questions which come forward. Now, on these questions, it may be a slider, like you can see there, which says something, it's a statement, and it's not like me at all, or it's very like me. And you can move that slider to wherever you feel is most relevant for yourself. Or there may be 6 statements, and you need to put them in order of importance for yourself, or something along those lines. Now, you can see here that that's listed the doer. So you've loved any subject that you get your hands on, or being outside. You're happiest in food tech, IT, or PE. So those are the sort of general statements which are listed, and you would just need to sort of list that as either high importance or low importance, or use that slider. When you've done that, by the end, you should receive a title, like, as I said before, the captain or the doer or something along those lines, and it will give you a bit of a blurb about what it thinks you would do best in, or what type of role you'd do best in, or how you best learn. So don't take it as gospel. It's not going to be might not change your life, but it might just give you a bit of insight on something you may have not thought about before. Or you might go, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's a good point. I do actually learn best in this way. So when you're looking at learning, new employability skills, maybe you learn best by reading. So a one-on-one coaching session might not be the best for you. Or if you learn best by having something explained to you in different ways, then a one-on-one session could be really beneficial for you. So it's just about opening your eyes on how you best learn and where you may best develop them. So your employability coaches. First, there's me. I'm John. I'm the inspiration team leader. I have been working in this sector for quite a while now. It's a sector that I got into because I wanted to help people, gain employment. I've been in places before where it can be really, really hard for a lot of people to find new roles. Maybe they've looking to change roles from something they've been doing before. They've done it for, 30 years and they're looking to try something different. Or maybe, fresh out of college, fresh out of school, fresh out of uni, you haven't been employed before. So all of these things about your CV, about interview tips and tricks, all of those things, they're not naturally going to come to you unless you have practiced or looked up that information. So that's why I got into this sector, because I wanted to be someone who could help provide that information and help people find roles. As you can tell from my picture there, I've got a little dog. I love dogs. In my opinion, dogs might be better than people, but the jury's still out on that one. And I hate red onion. If you like red onion, I don't know what's wrong with you, but it's disgusting. It's horrible. Then we've got Alex, who is my senior engagement manager. Alex always feels at home in the outdoors. He is always out and about doing stuff. But if he's not out and about, you can book a coaching session with him. Just don't eat loudly on the call, or he might end the call because he really, really, really doesn't like it. And then there's Emily, who is our engagement manager. Now, Emily, I have on good authority that Emily would actually give up everything if it meant that she could be a wizard in Harry Potter. So if you're bored and you just want to book a coaching session with her and discuss Harry Potter, she will happily sit there for most of the day to talk to you about that. And she hates full fat Coke, which I don't know why, because I love full fat Coke. So we disagree on that. But all three of us, we are all here to help you. So if you have any issues you want to discuss with us, any coaching sessions you want to book, even if it's a case you just want to email with a question, maybe you come on one of these sessions, you have a question, you forgot to ask it during, just send us an email through and we're more than happy to either jump on a call with you or just answer the email as it is. So let's say you've done all of that then. You have done a coaching session with us, you have done a mock interview with us, you've done all the modules, and you're still feeling a bit like, I don't know what my next steps are, or I still need a bit more additional support. I love tinkering with a CV. It's something, I don't know why, it's just something I've absolutely learned to love to do. So if you feel that your CV is good, but it's not quite at the level that you want it to be, feel free to ping it across to us and go, I want to do this, or I want to emphasize this more. I will happily sit for a few hours, make changes, make suggestions, send it back to you with more information, send it back to you with notes, and then we can jump on a call and go through your CV even more. So that's something that I personally love to do. So if you do need any more CV guidance, reach out to us. Same for interview tips and tricks. We have so much information on how to be successful in an interview. Interviewing is a skill. So again, maybe if you've been out the game for a while or you've never actually done many interviews, it's something that you can definitely learn. It's something you can definitely develop. So next thing then is finding roles and opportunities. So again, let's say you've actually found, or you haven't found a role yet. You are looking for something and you're looking for a way to develop, or you're looking for a new role. If you can't find something, feel free to reach out. We're more than happy to sit on a call with you and actually try to help you find a role. Use all the different websites. We're not precious about using our own website. If you can find something on Indeed or Reed or any of these other websites, we're more than happy to support you with that as well. So if you are struggling, feel free to reach out. Let's say you've had an interview and you actually got a bit of feedback from that client or from that employer. Maybe it was really good feedback, maybe it was really negative feedback. So feel free to reach out to us. We can book a session. We can go through that feedback that you've received. We can, give you tips on how to improve where they've said you've maybe not been too successful, or we can give you ways to further develop where they have said you've done really well. So any feedback you receive, reach out to us. We can talk about that. And if you just need any other support with the entire recruitment process, so you get a bit stuck, you don't know what to do next, feel free to reach out to us. We can help with that as well. And as I said, here's just some of the information. I'm not going to read it all out to you, but here's some of the information and some of the feedback we've received from people we've really recently spoken to. Again, a lot of the time it is a case of maybe we've opened their eyes to things they didn't know. Maybe they just needed a bit more information. Maybe they just needed a bit of reassurance that they were doing the right thing or taking the right steps. So we are here to help you. Our only goal here is to give you assistance, hopefully end up with you in some form of employment where you are happy, where you want to be there. So we are always here. Reach out to us, give us a shout. And that's me. So on the screen at the moment is actually a little QR code. If you feel that you'd like to, you can scan that QR code using your phone. I'll leave that up there just for a while. You can scan that, you can come through to our website, you can create a profile, and then you can reach out and book a session, book a coaching session, do those modules, whatever you'd like to do. So thank you very much.
That's great. Thanks ever so much, John. We've had quite a few questions. So I will start off with a question that came in. I'm interested in getting into an IT tech job for a career change from healthcare. How could you help me go about doing this?
So I think one of the things there that we're definitely going to look into if we were to speak to you is to look at your transferable skills. So transferable skills are something that you may not even think you're picking up, but in all forms of employment, you are picking up transferable skills. Those skills are things which, as the name suggests, can be transferred from one workplace to another and still be relevant. So these are things like adaptability, teams, to being able to work in a team, being able to work individually, all of these sorts of things. So although maybe you may not have the tech knowledge or the tech history that they may be looking for, we would really emphasize those transferable skills and emphasize how you would be a brilliant person to work with in a workplace because you have all of these transferable skills already. And then again, we'd suggest things like completing the digital click start. That's going to give you a lot of the digital knowledge, which will help you get closer to that goal. So those would be things we'd shout about on your CV, and that would be something that we would help you with in one of our CV sessions.
And just following on for that, are there any jobs in IT that can be done without coding knowledge for career changes?
That is something that is quite, how do I put this? It can completely depend on the company, on the role itself, on what it is they're looking for. So what I'd recommend is if you are looking for something, have a look at the job description and the duties required in that job description. Some may list coding, some may not. It all depends on what that individual company is looking for. But I would say yes, but just be quite specific on what role you're looking for, what company that's with, and just check that job description to make sure.
Quick one here. Is this resource available outside the UK?
It is, however, it's not something we'd be able to. So you could access this resource outside the UK, yes. You can still access the modules. However, for a lot of the roles, as they are listed as things like apprenticeships, graduate schemes, and those sorts of things, there is an element of you do need to have been living in the UK, usually for 3 years plus, or have the correct visa for this. We are not able to give visa support. It's a case of if the company offers visa support, that's something they are able to do, but we would not be able to do so. So yes and no. You can access the modules, but we wouldn't be able to give you additional support around finding those roles.
We've had a couple of people in the chat saying they've tried to sign up, but every time they do with their personal details, it says, please wait. Who can they contact?
So if you contact the email that's on screen right now, so info@getmyfirstdigitaljob.co.uk, just let us know and we'll get that resolved for you.
I'll just put that in the chat before we
no
finish our webinar. So to everyone who's having a similar problem, I'll make sure that's in the chat for you before we finish. We have a question here about AI. What makes it beneficial to pursue a career in a field that AI is expected to dominate?
So AI currently at the moment requires a lot of direction. So AI is an incredible tool, and we're not going to beat around the bush here. It's incredible. It can do things that we didn't think were possible 5-10 years ago. However, a lot of AI still requires direction. It still requires checking. It still requires things to make sure that it's doing the right thing. There is a massive human element involved in AI. Now, what we see is AI being used in a way that maybe it shouldn't be, especially in things like the recruitment process. People are using AI to try to cheat the system a little bit. So there is an element of that within workplaces. They want to make sure that AI is being used in the right way and it is being used with human guidance. So just because AI may be, really advanced and is sort of taking massive steps forward, it doesn't mean that human element is not required in that.
Thank you. Another quick question is there a limit to how many coaching sessions I can have?
No limit at all. If you want to book in one and we talk for 10 minutes and you feel like we've answered all your questions and you don't want to talk anymore, that's fine. If you want to book in five, book in five. You want to book in 10, that's absolutely fine. We're more than happy to talk to you, especially if at each stage of that, we're doing a different thing, or maybe you are at a different stage. I've had a couple of people who have booked, 3 or 4, and each time I've spoken to them, it's been a few weeks in between. We catch up on where they've been, what they've been doing, what other things they've learned. Maybe, week 3, they've gone, oh, I've got an interview next week. Can we do a mock interview? And I'll be like, yeah, sure. No worries. We'll do a mock interview. So it's just making sure that you are using the system the way it's meant to be. And really, as long as it's helping you, book in as many as you like.
That sounds like a brilliant resource. And do you match CVs to jobs that you have available? Or is this something that our learners, you help them with their CVs and then they find jobs on your site?
So we would give you assistance on your CV. If you are completely lost and you have no idea what you want to be doing, we can make suggestions, but we want to make sure that we are supporting your decisions, not the other way around. We don't want to be pigeonholing you into a specific role because we've got a client that has that role available. We just want to make sure that you are going for what you want to go for. So if you ask us for our opinion, we're going to give it to you, but we won't go, you should go for this one because we've got that one available. We would just make sure we're giving you accurate information and what maybe reflects best on your CV.
And if someone's looking for help with their CV, what's the best area on your site to go to for that help?
So first things first, I'd probably recommend going across to the CV module because there might just be a few bits in there that you maybe hadn't thought about before, some information that you hadn't looked at before. So it might give you a few just extra tips and tricks. If you have done the module and you still want some more information, feel free to book in a coaching session. One of those coaching sessions is called a CV coaching session. Or if you really just maybe don't want to do a coaching session, feel free to email us at info@GetMyFirstDigitalJob, just saying, hi, here's my CV. I'm going for these types of roles. Do you have any tips and tricks? And we're more than happy to just have a look at your CV, maybe make some notes, make some changes, ping it back across to you, and we can do it that way. So it's whatever best suits you.
And these two questions are kind of connected. So is there a time limit on when I have to register? And also, how long do I have access to the online hub?
So at the moment, there is no limit. We've not got anything which is going to kick people out at any time zone or anything like that. So you can register whenever you like. This service is still going to be here. As I said before as well, it's no longer just limited to Clickstart learners. So this can be, if you've got friends who are looking for this type of role or anything like that, feel free to send that across. But yeah, there's no limit. You can jump in whenever you like. Once you've made a profile, you have that profile. And if there is any changes, we would contact you. But at the moment, whenever you like, jump into it.
That's great. I've just had a couple more people wanting the link to register, and we've also had a few other people that are still having issues registering. So I've just asked them if they can all email me at click-start@open.ac.uk, and we can forward them on to you, John, or we can just keep them updated if there are any problems with their particular account. So again, I've just popped it in the chat for you. If you need that link sending to you via an email, please just email us on click-start@open.ac.uk and we can get that one to you. Just had one pop in to the chat. So it's just regarding AI and following on for the answer you gave there, John. Currently, one second, I'll just read this out. I'm just reading this live, so apologies. Once AI is doing its job perfectly, people are going to become disposable. So again, what is the kind of the value in doing a graduate computing and IT course? By the time I finish my degree, AI will probably be so smart. So I can probably just kind of jump in there. I know we did a really good getting started with generative AI webinar, I think last week or the week before. So it's available on the Clickstart platform. So have a look at that because there are lots of almost like offshoot industries that are going to be around. So Mike Richards, who authored our course, did a fantastic job of looking at all the kind of the pros and cons and benefits and drawbacks of the AI. So please jump onto the Clickstart webinar tab and have a quick look at that recording there. I think it has anybody else. We've got a few minutes left. So if you have any other questions for John, please, the last few minutes, pop them in the chat or the Q&A and we can get them to John. If you do think of something after we've closed the webinar, please feel free to email us on click-start@open.ac.uk and we can either get the questions to John or direct you to various parts of the website or the registration page for Get My First Digital Job. So we'll just give it another minute. Oh, we've just had a quick question in. Do you have any specific support for neurodivergent people?
So in all of our coaching sessions, we will, talk to you about if you have any accessibility needs or any neurodivergent needs, and we're more than happy to cater those on an individual basis. It's something we're hyper aware of at the moment. And yes, so if you do have anything, just let us know, and we're more than happy to cater to any needs you may have.
We've got one here, which I can definitely relate to. I get so nervous in interviews. Can you help with strategies to overcome nerves or imposter syndrome in high pressure interviews?
Yes. I mean, one of the first things I would just say to that is, as I said before, interviewing is a skill and it's something that you could have done 10 interviews, 15, 20, 30, and those nerves could still be there. So it's not something that I'd be able to give you a magic pill for or a magic answer for and it's going to disappear, but we definitely have strategies for managing those. So I would say, please do book in a session with us about interview tips and tricks, interview skills. We'll more than happily go through all of the different things where we can talk about, managing your stress, something as simple as just taking that deep breath between answers. Something that I struggle with. I know I can talk quite quickly. So sometimes I have to remind myself, take a breath before you carry on. And it's all just these little things that you can try. Things like, again, really simple, having an ice cold glass of water, and having a sip of that can really ground you and can really make you feel like present in that moment. So all these little tips and tricks that we could offer to you, feel free to book in a session and we'll have a chat about that.
That's great, John. I think we've come to the end of all our questions. So thank you ever so much for joining us. If you have a question after we finish the webinar, please email us. If you have any ideas for future webinars, please email us and we can try and get those arranged. So it just leaves me to say thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. A recording of this webinar will be available on the Clickstart course platform in the next week, and we'll be linking it to it from the newsletter that will be in your inboxes on the 1st of April. So it just leaves me to say thank you everyone again, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.